Welcome back to the Deep Dive. It is Friday, February 20th, 2026.
We made it to the weekend.
We did make it. But looking at the calendar,
hmm
um, I mean, can you believe we are already staring down the barrel of the very last week of February?
It moves so fast. I mean, we're heading right into the week of February 23rd through March 1st.
Yeah.
And honestly, looking at the data we have for today, this particular transition from February to March, it feels, well, it feels heavy.
Heavy is definitely one word for it. I always feel like this time of year, late February, it's always a bit of a phantom zone.
A phantom zone,
Like
right?
we aren't quite in spring. The winter momentum is really dragging its feet, and we're sort of just stuck in this hallway between seasons.
Exactly.
And lo and behold, that is exactly what our source material is screaming at us today.
It really is. We're looking at a massive, very detailed sign-by-sign forecast for the upcoming week.
Based on a pretty complex stack of sources, right?
Yeah, a mix of tarot, runes, and oracle readings. And I have to say, the imagery in this particular analysis is incredibly vivid
Oh, absolutely.
and a little unsettling.
Unsettling is putting it politely. I mean, I was reading through the source stack preparing for this deep dive, and I'm seeing people breaking plates.
Yes.
I'm seeing spider webs wrapping around people, old tea sets that need polishing,
The T says, yeah, that was a strange one.
and apparently a lot of people are going to be hurting their feet.
There is a tremendous amount of somatic signaling in the data this week, yes. The body is really keeping the score.
But before we get into the broken crockery and the sore ankles, let's set the stage a bit. We've gone through this forecast, and just a quick note for you listening, we aren't going to name the specific astrologer or author here.
Right.
We're just going to refer to it as the forecast or the source material. But we have distilled it down.
We have.
So what is the actual mission for this deep dive? Because usually we're looking at tech trends or historical events. This is a bit more abstract. How do we make this actionable for you?
Well, the mission is strategy. I mean, often with these esoteric forecasts, it's so easy to get caught up in the what.
Like what will happen to me?
Exactly. Will I get money? Will I have a fight with my boss? But looking at the specific data set, the value isn't in the prediction at all.
It's in the instruction.
Precisely, it's in the instruction. The week is characterized by two massive, really conflicting energies.
Which are?
Fog and bridges.
Fog and bridges. I mean, it sounds like the setting of a noir
It
film.
feels a bit like one, honestly.
Yeah.
The fog represents high uncertainty, a lack of visibility, illusion,
Okay.
and the bridge represents transition, moving from one bank to the other.
So you're in a transitional period, but you can't see where you're going.
Right. The challenge is that you have to cross the bridge while the fog is incredibly thick. So our goal today is to extract the actionable strategies the source provides.
The survival guide.
Yeah, the survival guide. We're going to look at how to handle your resources, mental, physical, financial, so you don't literally or metaphorically fall off the bridge while you're crossing it.
And I think that brings us perfectly to the hook. Because there is one specific concept that popped up for several signs in this forecast that I think is the absolute key to surviving the week.
The force audit.
Yes, this idea of a force audit.
That is the core meta skill for the week, absolutely.
Okay, let's unpack this completely, because this wasn't just a throwaway line in the text. This force audit concept came up specifically for Aquarius and Gemini in the source material.
It did.
But honestly, reading the descriptions, I felt like it applied to the collective. I mean, everyone seems a bit drained right now.
It applies broadly, but the mechanism is very specific. The source explicitly advises Aquarius to, and I'm quoting here, analyze where you are squandering your strength.
Squandering your
The
strength.
phrasing is really important here. It describes a leak.
A lake.
The image is that you are pouring energy in, but you aren't gathering strength for movement. It's just disappearing.
That is a terrifying concept if you think about it.
It is.
The idea of getting zero return on investment for your literal life force. You're putting in the hours, you're putting in the emotion, you're doing the work.
But the tank is empty.
Exactly. The tank is empty. And for Gemini, it was a similar warning, but more financial, right?
Correct. For Gemini, the source warned about money disappearing and you don't know where it's going.
Just vanishing.
But the advice wasn't just, budget better. The advice was to look for the leak. It implies that the problem isn't the income. The problem is the container.
So let's play this out for the listener.
Yeah.
If I'm listening to this and I'm feeling drained, or my bank account is looking sadder than usual this week, how do I actually perform this force audit?
We promised practical steps.
We did.
Uh-huh.
What are the actual steps? Because telling someone to stop wasting energy is way easier said than done.
It is, but based on the instructions in the forecast, we can break it down into 3 distinct steps.
Okay, let's hear it.
Step 1 is leak identification. This comes directly from that Aquarius insight. The source mentions stepping into potholes or engaging in empty actions.
Empty actions. That phrase stings a little bit.
It's meant to.
Can we define that?
Yeah.
What does an empty action actually look like in our day-to-day lives in 2026?
An empty action is something you do out of habit or maybe compulsion that yields 0 return. No emotional return, no financial return, no productive return.
Give me an example.
It's the meeting that could have been an email.
Oh, classic.
It's the hours spent doom scrolling where you end up angrier than when you started.
Yep, guilty.
It's the cyclical argument you have with a partner that literally never resolves anything. It's just noise.
So it's distinct from rest.
Very distinct. Rest restores you. An empty action drains you.
So it's activity without progress.
Exactly. Motion without movement. So the practical step here for the listener is to track your energy for just one day.
Just one day.
Just one day. Keep a mental note or write it down of the moments where you feel drained rather than tired.
That's a really crucial distinction right there. Drained versus tired. Let's dig into that.
It's a huge difference. Tired is the feeling you get after a good workout or a hard day's work on a project you care about.
It's a clean fatigue.
Yes, clean fatigue. You feel accomplished, you need sleep, but you feel good.
Right.
Drain is when you feel depleted, resentful, hollow. That hollow feeling is the signal of a leak. If you finish a task and you feel hollow, you have found a leak in your system.
Okay, that makes so much sense. So I identify the leak. Let's say I realize I'm spending 2 hours a day worrying about a work situation I literally cannot control.
A very common leak.
Or I'm pouring money into a subscription box I never use. I found it. What is step 2?
Step 2 is the cycle check. And this is drawn directly from the Gemini advice. The source tells Gemini to look for cyclical situations.
Meaning, like, why does it keep happening to me?
Right. If you lose money or time or your temper in the exact same way twice in a single month, the source suggests the cause is systemic.
It's not just bad luck.
No, it's not bad luck. It's a structural flaw in how you are operating. So the audit requires you to identify one problem that has repeated recently. That becomes your target.
Okay.
You have to step back and ask, what is the common denominator here?
And usually it's us. We are the common denominator.
Unfortunately, yes, usually the common denominator is a boundary you aren't setting or a habit you aren't breaking.
So it's looking for the pattern rather than just reacting to the incident.
Precisely. Which leads us to step 3. And honestly, step 3 is the hardest one.
Why?
Because step 3 is the pause protocol. This appears heavily in the advice for Capricorn and Taurus. The source explicitly warns against tearing forward or starting brand new things.
Yeah, I saw that in the notes. Don't rush. Don't force the door.
Right.
It feels really counterintuitive, doesn't it? Because usually when I find a problem, my first instinct is to attack it, fix it right now.
That is the natural human instinct. But the force audit requires stillness. You cannot fix an engine while the car is doing 80 miles per hour down the highway.
That's a great metaphor.
The source emphasizes that for many signs, this is a week to stop. If you don't know what to do nothing.
It's the idea of you have to stop pouring water into a bucket with a hole in it. You literally have to put the bucket down to patch the hole.
Precisely. And that requires an emotional inventory, not just a physical one. You have to stop and ask yourself, am I rushing right now because I'm actually making progress? Or am I rushing because I'm anxious?
And this week?
This week, the answer is almost certainly anxiety.
Wow. Okay, so we're auditing our energy, we're identifying the leaks, we're finding the patterns, and we're pausing. We're plugging the leaks.
That's the foundation.
But even if we do all of that perfectly, the source suggests we are navigating a pretty tricky mental landscape this week. Which brings us to segment 2.
The mental landscape.
Fog, illusions, and spiderwebs.
The spiderwebs, that was highly evocative.
I have to talk about this because when I read this section for Taurus in the source material, I actually shuddered.
It's a very visceral image.
It's so creepy. The source describes a person being wrapped in a spiderweb by someone in their close circle. They're crawling around you, wrapping you up.
Yeah.
What does this actually mean? Is Taurus starring in a horror movie this week? Or is this a metaphor we need to decode?
It's a psychological horror movie in a way. The expert analysis of this imagery points directly to soft influence.
Self-influence.
Think about how a spider web actually works. It isn't a brick wall. You don't crash into it and stop immediately.
Right.
It's almost invisible. You walk into it and it just sticks to you. And the key characteristic of a web is that the more you struggle, the more entangled you get.
So this isn't a screaming match. This isn't a loud, obvious fight with someone.
No, not at all. This represents manipulation that is subtle. It's charm.
Charm is a weapon.
Exactly. It's someone smiling while they cross your boundaries. It's gaslighting. It's someone saying, oh, surely you didn't mean that, while they steer you exactly where they want you to go.
Oh, I know that person.
We all do. It's the friend who drains your energy, but does it by giving you a compliment first.
So it's being charmed into a corner.
Exactly.
Hmm.
The source explicitly links this situation to the mirror card. It suggests that if you feel uncomfortable, if you feel that sticky sensation of a boundary being crossed, you have to trust it.
Even if the person is being nice.
Even if they are smiling. Even if, on paper, they are doing nothing wrong. The practical strategy here is setting firm boundaries early. You have to cut the web before it wraps tight.
Okay, so Taurus is fighting off psychological spiders. Got it. But looking at Aries and Cancer, they aren't having a much clearer time, are they? The fog seems to be the thickest for them.
It really is. For Aries, the source describes a literal fog right in front of the face. Quote, you cannot see the situation clearly.
And the advice for Aries was really interesting. Do not go straight through.
Right.
Which is usually the Aries modus operandi, right? Head first, straight line, ram the door down.
Exactly. Because if you can't see and you run forward at full speed, you are going to hit a wall.
Or fall off the bridge.
Or fall off the bridge. The source says the path is open on the sides, but blocked in the center.
What does that mean practically?
This is a metaphor for lateral thinking. If the direct path is confusing or blocked, go around. Don't force clarity where there is none right now. If the front door is locked, try the window. Go through the side gate.
That requires a lot of patience.
It does.
Wow.
And for Cancer, this seemed even heavier to me.
Yeah, Cancer has perhaps the darkest imagery in the entire stack.
Which is saying something.
It really is. Cancer is described as looking into a dark well with no reflection.
Oof. That sounds so existential. The abyss stares back. It is existential. The source mentions a fear of not making it in time, a deep sense of rushing and anxiety.
Oh, that panic feeling.
Yes. But, and this is crucial for you listening to understand, the expert interpretation here is that this is internal anxiety. It is not external reality.
Yeah, okay, that's a big relief.
The well is dark because you are projecting your own fear into it. It's empty. The source promises a lift in this energy by mid-week. So the strategy for Cancer, and really anyone feeling this, is do not trust your panic.
Do not trust your panic. So putting this all together for our listener, perception is basically entirely unreliable this week.
That is the headline. Write that down. Perception is unreliable. Whether it's a spider web of manipulation, a literal fog of confusion, or a dark well of anxiety, your first emotional reaction is likely based on incomplete or distorted data.
So what do we do?
Wait for the fog to lift. The forecast consistently points to Wednesday or midweek generally as the turning point where visibility finally returns.
So Monday and Tuesday, we are just flying blind. We are instrument only.
Instrument only.
And then Wednesday, the clouds part.
That is the schedule the source lays out.
All right, let's move from the psychological landscape to the physical one. Because while our heads might be in the fog, our hands need to be doing something to keep us sane. Which brings us to segment 3, the physical world. And this is where we get to my absolute favorite detail in the entire source text.
I know what you're going to say.
The old tea set.
The old tea set. It appeared specifically for Aquarius, but it acts as a perfect symbol for the energy of the whole week.
Quote, I see a tea set that needs polishing.
Yes.
I just love how hyper-specific that is. It's not
Yeah.
clean your house, it's not do the dishes, it's polish the silver. Why did that stand out to you so much?
Because it represents a very specific type of labor. Think about it. Polishing a tea set isn't daily cleaning, like wiping the counters or washing plates.
Right.
And it isn't emergency cleaning, like fixing a broken pipe or mopping up a spill.
It's elective.
Exactly. It's a task you do maybe once a year or once a month. It requires care. It's repetitive. It's quiet. And most importantly, it's about valuing what you already have.
It's pure maintenance.
Maintenance. This week is not about innovation. It is about maintenance. The source suggests returning to tasks that have been completely neglected. It's about restoring the shine to what you already own, rather than rushing out to buy something new to fill an emotional void.
And this theme of unglamorous maintenance seems to hit the other signs really hard too. I mean, we've got a lot of bureaucracy showing up for Pisces, Virgo, and Aries.
A huge amount of paperwork. It's surprisingly administrative for an esoteric forecast.
Yes.
For Pisces, the source shows opening folders, dealing with documents, and seeds.
Seeds, like actual gardening.
Yes, packets of seeds, which implies preparation. You aren't eating the fruit yet. You are organizing the potential for the future.
Okay, planting for later.
You're filing the paperwork that allows the growth to happen next season. And interestingly, for Pisces, there is a hint of a large purchase, maybe a car, because it mentions walking among machines.
Interesting. And Virgo is acting as the inspector.
Yes, checking papers, acting as an auditor, handing documents to others. Virgo is heavily in a role of oversight this week.
And Aries.
Aries is receiving official permissions or sealed envelopes. So if you're listening to this and you have administrative life admin tasks hanging over your head.
Like taxes, license renewals, contract reviews.
Yes, this is the week to do them.
It sounds so boring. I'm not going to lie. Welcome to the deep dive. Go do your taxes.
It is boring, but it's grounding. Think about it. When your mental landscape is foggy and you don't know where you're going emotionally, doing something tangible and precise like polishing a tea set or filing a tax return anchors you.
That makes total sense.
It's binary. It's either done or it isn't. It is the absolute antidote to the dark well.
That is a really, really good point. If you are anxious about the dark well, go clean the pantry. Which, by the way, is literally the advice given for Sagittarius.
It is. Sagittarius has the exact image of cleaning out the pantry or the storeroom.
And for Gemini.
For Gemini, it's jumping over books and shelves, organizing knowledge.
I love the Sagittarius image of the pantry because it is so satisfying. Throwing out those expired cans of beans from 3 years ago, wiping down the dusty shelves.
The expert insight here is that cleaning physical space actually releases trapped energy.
Tying back to the force audit.
Exactly. If you feel stuck, if you found a leak during your audit, physically clearing a space often unblocks the mental flow. You are removing the old to literally make space for the new.
It's basically Feng Shui 101.
It is, but it's showing up very strongly in the cards this week.
So the big takeaway for the physical world, maintenance, not innovation. Polish the silver, sign the papers, clean out the closet.
It's unglamorous, but it prepares the ground for the spring that is coming.
Okay, so we are polishing our tea sets, we are dodging psychological spider webs, but unfortunately we still have to deal with other humans.
Always the hardest part.
Which brings us to segment 4, interpersonal dynamics. And folks, there is some serious drama in the forecast.
There is significant friction.
Let's talk about the bridge archetype again. We mentioned this for Aquarius, but it applies generally to the week. You're crossing a bridge, but there are holes in it.
Meaning the transition isn't safe. You really have to watch your step. And often, the holes in the bridge are other people.
Oh, man. Let's talk about the volatile signs. If you are a Capricorn, or you live with a Capricorn, or work with one, the source has a major warning.
Capricorn energy this week is described as having high magnetism, but high irritation.
High magnetism, high irritation, and the visual was breaking plates.
Breaking plates and pricking others with a pin. Sarcasm.
Yikes. That is a very specific aggressive mood.
It's a dangerous combination, really. Magnetism means people are naturally drawn to you right now. You're charismatic this week. But the irritation means the second they get close, you snap at them. The source also specifically mentions tech failures for Capricorn.
Oh, no.
Washing machines breaking, cars breaking down.
Which only adds to the irritation.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing makes you want to break a plate more than a flooded washing machine.
Precisely. So if you are a Capricorn listening to this, your strategy is pure damage control. Recognize that you were a prickly pear this week.
Warn the people around you.
Yes. Literally say, I am not angry at you. I am angry at the washing machine. Please back away slowly.
And for Leo, because they seem to be struggling with stability in relationships too.
Leo is depicted as standing on one leg.
Standing on one leg.
It's a posture of intense insecurity or instability. The source says they feel unheard by partners, or they are missing signs that are basically being served to them on a silver platter.
So they're looking for validation and just not getting it.
Right. So Leo is wobbling on one leg and Capricorn is throwing plates across the room.
It sounds like a completely chaotic dinner party.
It really does.
So what is the antidote?
Mm-hmm.
If we want to survive this social friction without losing our minds, who do we look to? Because surely someone in the zodiac has it figured out this week.
We look to Scorpio and Libra. They have the absolute winning strategy for the week.
Tell us about the flow strategy.
For Scorpio, the advice is incredibly explicit. Do not fight, just float.
I loved the visual of the ocean here.
It's beautiful, isn't it? The source describes diving deep into the ocean. On the surface of the water, there is a massive storm. The plates breaking, the fog, the drama, the broken washing machines.
Total chaos.
But deep down in the water, it is perfectly calm. The source says victory for Scorpio comes from inaction this week.
Inaction.
Quote, you are being carried by the current, don't swim against it.
And what about Libra?
Libra is sitting on a bench eating sunflower seeds.
Just watching the drama unfold.
Just watching the world go by. Observation.
I kind of love that.
The insight here is that sometimes the ultimate power move is to sit on the bench and eat your snacks while everyone else freaks out.
It's total detachment.
It's realizing, not my circus, not my monkeys.
Yes. So, the expert social strategy for our listener. If you encounter that Capricorn-like energy this week, someone who is explosive, sarcastic, or breaking things, do not engage.
Do not engage. Adopt the Scorpio or Libra stance. Drop to the bottom of the ocean or sit on the bench. Observe. Float. Do not react.
Because if you react,
you fall through the hole in the bridge. You get pulled right into their drama.
just float is going to be my mantra for the entire week.
Honestly, it's the only way to cross the bridge safely.
Now, we touched on this a bit in the intro, but we need to go much deeper. Segment 5, the somatic radar. The source material was surprisingly specific about health and body signals this week.
It was unusually specific.
Usually these forecasts are pretty vague, like, oh, you might feel a bit tired. But this was naming specific anatomy.
It was. And when you look at a forecast like this, you have to look for the overarching patterns. And the overwhelming pattern this week is
Feet.
feet, ankles, toes. It was everywhere in the reading.
Everywhere. Aquarius, warnings about twisting ankles,
Mhm.
Leo standing on one leg, Sagittarius,
Yeah.
aching bones in the foot, Aries, hitting toes against furniture.
Why feet? What does that mean in a deep dive context? Well, somatically speaking, feet represent our standing in life. They represent our direction and our foundational stability.
Which ties back to the fog.
Exactly. Remember the fog and the bridge. When you can't see where you are going, the fog, or you are crossing a risky transition, the bridge, your body registers that psychological uncertainty in your physical foundation, the feet.
So twisted ankle isn't just a clumsy moment. It's a physical manifestation of the brain saying, I don't know where I'm stepping right now.
Exactly. It's a grounding issue. The advice is literal: watch your step, wear good shoes, don't rush down the stairs in the dark. But it's also highly metaphorical.
Be careful where you place your weight.
Yes. You are on uneven ground this week. Don't commit all your weight to a situation until you test the floorboards first.
There was also a lot of head and pressure stuff mentioned.
Yes, specifically for Cancer, Leo, and Gemini. Headaches, eye pressure, heavy eyelids.
Heavy eyelids was the specific phrase for Gemini, right?
Yeah, right. It suggests deep mental exhaustion. The mental fog is creating actual physical pressure in the skull. We are trying so hard to see through the fog that we are straining our eyes.
Trying to force clarity.
Exactly. The advice is to literally rest the eyes. Stop looking so hard. Stop doom scrolling late at night. Close your eyes and let your other senses take over for a bit.
And then there were some really weird specific ones. Taurus and teeth.
Teeth and the upper jaw for Taurus. This is often associated somatically with holding back words or grinding through extreme stress.
Biting your tongue.
Exactly. And Scorpio had knuckles hurting.
From clenching their fists.
Or holding on too tight to the steering wheel. Remember, the advice for Scorpio is to float. If your knuckles hurt, it means you are grabbing the situation too hard. You need to let go.
It's amazing how the body tells on us. It gives away the game before our conscious mind even admits we're stressed.
It always does. The body is always the first responder to the cosmic weather.
Okay, so we've audited our force, we've dodged the spider webs, we're polishing our tea sets, and we are floating down the river.
We're doing it all.
Let's wrap this up with segment 6, the strategic summary. We always want to leave you with a concrete game plan.
Right. If you want to win this week, or at least navigate it without breaking a plate yourself, there are 3 main tools the source gives us to take away.
Tool number 1, the game mindset.
Yeah.
This comes from the Aries advice.
Yes. The source advises Aries to treat the week's challenges like a level in a game.
I love this reframing so much. It takes the heavy emotion right out of it.
It's incredibly powerful. If you hit a wall in a video game, you don't sit down and cry about your existential worth.
No.
You don't take it personally, you try to find the cheat code, or you just go around the wall. It depersonalizes the struggle.
Right.
So if things go wrong this week, if the plate breaks, if the paperwork is wrong, just say to yourself, this is just the level design. How do I beat this boss?
Tool number 2, the visualization tool. This is for Pisces.
The source said, construct your version. Don't just sit back and hope for a good outcome. Actively visualize the specific version of reality you want to enter.
Because of the fog.
Yes. The source suggests this week is highly responsive to intent. Because the fog is there, reality is a bit malleable right now. It's fluid. You can shape it with your intent.
And finally, let's give them the timeline. The weekly checklist for February 23rd to March 1st.
Okay, based on the flow of the forecast, Monday and Tuesday, expect the fog. Energy is low. Do not force starts.
If you feel resistance, stop.
Stop. Do your force audit. Wednesday is the turning point. The source explicitly mentions the Wheel of Fortune turning for several signs on Wednesday.
So the energy lifts.
The energy lifts, the fog clears Thursday and Friday. This is your bureaucracy window. Good for official paperwork, financial resolution, and that P-set maintenance.
And the weekend.
The weekend brings high energy. The source mentions travel, bright creative breakthroughs, and joy.
So survive the beginning, work through the middle, enjoy the end.
That is the curve of the week.
I want to leave you listening with a final thought today. We've talked a lot about cleaning and maintenance. And frankly, it's not the most exciting advice we've ever given on the deep dive.
Go clean your pantry isn't exactly go climb Mount Everest.
No, it's not exciting at all, but it is essential. But there was this juxtaposition in the source material that I cannot get out of my head.
Which one?
We have Sagittarius cleaning the pantry and Scorpio diving into the deep sea.
It's a really beautiful contrast.
It is. We so often think that spiritual growth or personal success requires these massive, loud moves.
Right. We think we need to quit our jobs or move to Bali or have some huge epiphany to change our lives.
We want the movie moment. We want the training montage.
But the forecast suggests that the biggest breakthroughs this week come from the quietest acts.
The breakthrough comes when you refuse to argue with the person who is trying to bait you.
Yes, like a Libra on the bench. Or the breakthrough comes when you finally polish that old cup, like Aquarius.
It's the idea that God is in the details, or at least your sanity is in the details.
Sanity is definitely in the details this week.
So here's our provocative question for you to mull over this weekend. What is the old tea set in your life?
That's the question.
What is the boring, neglected thing? The task, the relationship, the object that if you just stopped and polished it this week would make everything else shine.
Find your tea set, polish it, see what happens.
Keep your feet steady, watch out for potholes, don't trust the spider webs, and we'll see you in the next deep dive.
Safe crossing, everyone.